Hi, how's it going, everybody? Today in this video I wanted to talk about the benefits of friendliness and how being friendly can help you in your day-to-day life, in your social relationships, navigating the social realm, navigating talking with coworkers and talking with friends and things like that. Um, Basically, a lot of the time people can be very unfriendly to one another. A lot of the time people can be very closed off and have a hard time opening up and talking to one another. But, I've been learning lately that there's a big benefit to being friendly towards somebody else. And what does it mean to be friendly? Well, being friendly is kind of like acting like a friend to this person. So, acting like, we are close, like we have some kind of relationship. So, a lot of the time, people will be closed off and will have a hard time opening up to other people. But when you act friendly towards somebody, a lot of the time people will mirror that back to you and will then become friendly back to you. So, a lot of the time, because we are social animals, we have mirror neurons in our brain where, I see behavior and I will tend to mirror or mimic that behavior. So, if somebody comes up to you and goes for a high five, then, a lot of the time instinctually you go for a high five back. If somebody takes out their hand to give you a handshake, then you'll shake their hand back. If another thing psychologically, if you start nodding at somebody, like, yeah, then they'll start nodding back to you. So people will often mimic, the the body language that you portray to somebody else. They'll start to um, sort of respond to how you engage with them. Now, the problem of what happens is when somebody has very closed off body language, if somebody is closed off, they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to open up, they don't want to be friendly, all that. So, you will often mimic this person and they're very closed off, so you become closed off as well. You mimic them. You think, oh well, they're closed off, so I'm going to be closed off. They're not talking to me, so I'm not going to be talking to them. And you might think like, oh, I'm just responding to how they are presenting themselves. And this is what a lot of people do. If somebody is angry towards them, you get angry at them. If somebody's angry towards you, you get angry at them. If somebody, is hates you, then you hate them. It's like a response of like, I am just matching whatever you are doing to me, right? But the issue with that is that often you can actually get people to open up by also considering that they'll oftentimes mimic you, right? So yes, a person might be stuck in that feedback loop where they are closed off and they don't want to talk to you. But if you can open them up through your own, positive, happy, friendly body language, then you can get them to open up to you. And I've started to find this in sales. So I took a sales job and, I'm starting to learn that, with random strangers, if you want to sell something to someone, they have to like you. They have to enjoy talking to you, and they have to see you as a friendly, approachable, likable person. Nobody wants to buy anything from somebody they hate, or somebody they think is sleazy, or somebody that, you know, is distrustful towards them, and especially angry or hates them or whatever. Like, you know, you have to make that kind of personal connection with somebody, and then once you make that personal connection, they'll open up, and then you can discuss the product and everything like that. So the best way to go about things I'm learning with a sales job is, to start off on a friendly foot. So we're learning a lot of body language stuff of, big body language of like, hi, how's it going? You're big and energetic basically. And by having this big body language, you actually portray a sense of energy and a sense of urgency to somebody else, rather than being closed off and hunched over, emotionally, you look like a robot or something. Instead, you want to be like big open body language and friendliness, smiling, being like, hey, how are you doing? Thumbs up, you're doing a good job, good for you. And it might seem a little artificial, it might seem a little fake. You might think like, well, this person who's, acting friendly and doing thumbs up and stuff, they're a very, cliched or just inauthentic person. Whereas me, who's closed off and doesn't talk to people, I'm an authentic person. You're an inauthentic person. But, I discussed this in an earlier video of, is self-improvement authenticity? And I think in terms of, how you tend to act with other people, it often seems inauthentic until you do it enough, and then it becomes natural. So, if you were to drive, you drive on the right side of the road, right? But then, you move to London, they drive on the left side of the road. So, is it inauthentic to drive on the left side of the road? No, it's not inauthentic. It might be different, it might be weird, but you get used to it. And then it becomes authentic. And that's a thing where, like, do you really need to even care about authenticity and inauthenticity? And I would say for the most part, don't care about it. But, this video is about friendliness and how it can help you. So the thing is, like, when people are closed off and don't want to talk, they're introverted or they're just, in their own headspace or whatever, being friendly and being like, hi, how are you? How's it going? How's your day going? How are you doing? It can loosen people up, where even this person who's usually like, backed off and doesn't want to talk to the outside world, they'll open up a little bit and they'll soften in their behavior, and and then you can form that personal relationship with you that can help you in, a variety of professional and, aspects in your personal life as well, professional and personal. So, being able to warm people up and get them to open up, strangers and things like that, will, it'll help you professionally, like, especially if you have to work with people, getting people to become more comfortable with you and open up with you and stuff can be helpful. But, also in your personal life, just, with strangers, you're at a festival or a club or a bar or out with friends or whatever, getting people to loosen up by being friendly yourself can give you tremendous benefits, instead of waiting for somebody else to be the person to loosen you up. Because a lot of people, like, they go into social situations feeling like they are owed somebody coming up to them and opening them up and being interested in them and all this stuff like that. It's like, but you have to reorient yourself to where you are the one that is taking action. You are the one trying to get the party started. You are the one that's trying to get people to talk and communicate and express themselves, rather than being closed off, And so, if you take that kind of passive stance of like, I'm waiting for you to help me out, you're going to be waiting a long time, and you're usually going to be waiting for something that never comes, how many hours do you have to spend, somebody, being a wallflower who just sits on their phone, how many hours do you have to spend before you get sick and tired of that and just want to start being the person who's out there and talking to people and expressing. But yeah, that's something that you should really keep in mind, is how friendliness opens people up, because people naturally have kind of two different orientations towards the world. So they have the orientation that they have towards their friends and family usually, which is one of kind of openness, of they're having fun, making interesting connections, loosen up, you know, boundaries don't matter as much, you know, it's fun and they're having fun and it's a game and stuff like that. And so there's that one aspect, but then the other aspect is the aspect when you're out, you know, you're waiting for a bus, or you're reading in the library, or you're walking through the subway, and you're on guard and you're defensive because you kind of have to be, because there's a lot of scary people out there, you know, people with knives, people with guns, you know, people who want something from you, you know. If you're a girl, you know, walking downtown by yourself, you know, it's not surprising you'd have barriers up to stop you from interacting with people and things, because it's a scary world, and you know you can often be found to be a target, right? So we have different motivations, different sort of orientations towards the world. But the thing is, if you are stuck in the closed off one, if you're stuck in that space, then you're going to have a very, very difficult time having a good time in a social situation, because you're going to be so closed off, you know. And I had this problem for sure of being very shy, but not just shy, but like introverted and not wanting to talk to anybody, of wanting to be an island, you know, be myself, separate from everybody else. But you don't end up having a good time in a social situation when that's the case. You end up being very closed off and unhappy, and just not enjoying yourself, you know. And so it's a lot better to allow yourself to open up and allow yourself to have a good time. And the way to do that is at least partly through friendliness, because friendliness breaks down that natural fear and distrust barrier, you know. Like in my sales job, I go door to door, right? And I walk up to someone's door. I'm a strange guy. They don't know who I am. They don't know anything about me. You know, for all they know, I'm a serial killer. For all they know, I'm a weirdo. I'm a creep. I'm a loser. What the hell am I doing here? For all they know, like, I'm not a good guy. So me coming up to somebody's door, naturally, they're probably going to be, a lot of them are going to be distrustful, right? So how you break that down is through the friendliness thing, of like smiling, of like, hi, how's it going? How's your day going? Blah blah blah. You know, you're trying to loosen them up and not intimidate them and not scare them. And so, you know, being friendly is a very, very positive thing for a person's life. You know, it helps you to make connections, which will kind of get you more of what you want. You know, you're going to have a more fruitful and interesting life if you can get people to loosen up to you. And the way to do that isn't through like forcing them, isn't through like shaking them and being like, loosen up, trust me, you know, because that's weird. Like, no, you want to gently sort of like be like, I'm a trustful person, like you can trust me. And how do you do that is through friendliness, is through, you know, slowly, you know, getting them to be happy and excited and to trust you, to really be somebody that other people can trust, is huge, and it's very, very important. So, you know, you really can't disregard friendliness because of its ability to take people from that fearful orientation towards the open and vibrant orientation, where they're really interacting with you and the world, and they're having a good time. You know, they're not afraid and they're not scared, because just like for you, like, fear is the thing that really like controls your life. Like, it's the biggest barrier that you face in your day-to-day world. it's the same for everybody else. Everybody has fear, and if you can break down, that fear, then you're on your way to really helping people out, and helping yourself out. Because if you can break down other people's fear, then you can form these relationships which will broaden your horizons and give you something, fun. I think that a lot of people actually want to intimidate and scare other people, and they don't want really other people to be comfortable and happy and things like that. They really want other people to be unhappy and scared. And so if you're that kind of person, that's something you got to work on, where you have to start seeing other people as wanting the best for them, really wanting them to be happy and relaxed. It's like when you see a dog, do you want the dog to be afraid of you, or do you want the dog to love you and play with you? Same with a cat or something. Do you want the cat to be afraid of you and avoid you, or do you want the cat to come up to you and sit on your lap and stuff? So in a way, you got to kind of see people like that, of do I want these people to just be frightened of me, or do I want them to open up to me? Because actually I think that a lot of people have that inner dictator sort of thing. It's Hitler wanted people to be afraid of him. He wanted, yes, a lot of people in Germany loved him at the time, pre-World War II, but he wanted to be feared, as a lot of dictators want to be feared. They want people to be scared of them. And abusive people are like that too, where they want people to be afraid of them, because they revel in that power that fear gives them. If somebody's afraid of you, then they're probably going to be more likely to do what you ask. And maybe there's an element of okay, maybe somebody should be a little bit afraid of you. Maybe they shouldn't be so unafraid of you that they'll take advantage of you. But at the very least, it's a balance that you have to find, and I think that balance should tip more towards people being less afraid of you, because it'll allow them to express themselves more around you and enjoy being with you, rather than just freaking people out. So how exactly can you be more friendly with people? One way that I'm learning is through personal stories and experiences that you have, talking more about yourself and your life. I know that for a lot of people, they want to maintain an air of mystery about themselves, an air of secretness, so that they want to seem very secret. But being really secret doesn't get people to warm up to you. If you can reveal things about yourself, it does make you seem more genuine and more like a person, like authentic. And so if you can say something about yourself, then people will be more likely to trust you. And also, you're kind of putting yourself on the line by talking about yourself. You're putting yourself out there, where you're kind of saying to people okay, here's the real me, here's my experiences, so that's me really putting myself out there. And I think people like that sense of vulnerability that you're showing, because when you reveal yourself, as kids, a lot of times you see kids tearing apart other kids because they said something about themselves, and we all have skeletons in our closets and things where we prefer people don't know about them. There's that quote, "What is a man? Just a miserable pile of secrets." It's from Castlevania, I think. but that's I think we all have a secret nature, but if you can try to reduce that as much as possible by like really showing like this is who I am, like, you know, this is me, you know, and you can accept me or dislike me or whatever, but I'm showing you who I am, and you know, that's me putting myself out there. That vulnerability can get people to like you, you know, get people to, you know, want to be vulnerable with you as well. If you can, you know, comes back to that mimicking thing of like, if I'm being vulnerable with you, I'm allowing you that space to be vulnerable with me, and you being vulnerable with me, you know, opens you up and allows us to have kind of like a real connection rather than, you know, just this artificial, you know, fake polite kind of thing. It really allows you to, you know, act person to person, like you're, you know, I'm really here, I'm really listening, I'm really talking to you, and people respond well to that. And that is really what being friendly is, you know. It's hard to be a friend to somebody while also, you know, being angry and hurtful and closed off. You know, it's hard to be both at the same time. Like, so if you can up that friendly factor, you can get people to get their guard down, and when they get their guard down, they'll trust you more, and that trust means people will be attracted to you and want to be around you, because, you know, they'll sense that, you know, you're not going to hurt them, you're not going to lash back at them. But, you know, like with any skill, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes practice. But I think concrete things you can do to be more friendly, you know, smile more, be like, hey, how's it going? You know, try and use more body language, physical, like thumbs up, wave, hi, how's it going? You know, how's your day going? You know, trying to be more energetic and generally, you know, with your thoughts, trying to steer your thoughts in a more positive direction, trying to see somebody as, you know, trying to get to know them and want to be curious about this individual. And, you know, when you're talking to somebody, think like, okay, what positive thing can I get out of this interaction? What's the best thing I can get out of this interaction? And sometimes the best thing you can get is just to leave, because you're not going to get anything out of it. They're such a closed off, unhappy individual. Maybe all you can do is get away from them. But, you know, for the most part, I would say try to approach every interaction with a person in the way of like, how can I get the best possible thing out of this? You know, how can I really like get something good out of this interaction with somebody else? I think that's a very positive way to see things, and a very fruitful way to approach a situation and approach, you know, talking to somebody new. So, yeah, I would say focus on friendliness, try to be more friendly, and it's going to give you big success in your personal life and in your professional life as well. So, maybe there are caveats to that, you know, and sometimes you got to balance it with being a little bit forceful, a little bit like a dictator, you know, if you're a supervisor or something. But I think the friendliness, you have to prioritize it somewhat to get what you want out in the world, right? So, and people will respond to it, and people will like it. So, that's my video for today. Everybody have a great day, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.